Hello, my name is Yosu, and I'm going to give you a sort of guideline on how to play RuneScape. This is not going to be a guide or what OSRS players call efficiency-scape, but more so a how to get started and what to know for the game on a basic level. Really quick for some backstory about me. I've been playing RuneScape since 2005 and immediately when OSRS released. I played a little bit into RS3 when they released the player-owned ports and then gave up on the game. I've created RuneScape content since 2007 here on YouTube and have been streaming OSRS content with a few other games on Twitch since 2013. If you could take the 3 seconds to like and subscribe, you would be helping me immensely for absolutely free, as this took a lot of time to put together. First and foremost, RuneScape is an extremely open-ended MMO. A game unlike any other. There is no hand-holding in the game unless you use RuneLite plugins, and you will find the OSRS Wikipedia will quickly become your best friend. So get used to me referring to it throughout this video. You can create one character and build your account the way you'd like. Want to just level magic? Sure, do it. Want to level all of your non-combat skills? Go ahead. Want to only level your attack, strength, and defense to RP as a warrior? No one is stopping you. You can wear magic armor and use a bow. You can be clad in full armor and cast magic, albeit ineffectively. The choice is 100% yours. You move by either clicking on the minimap or straight onto the ground. Also, right-clicking objects bring up more options. RuneScape is the name of the game, Gielinor is the name of the world we play in. Kind of like World of Warcraft is the name of the game, but Azeroth is the world you play in. OSRS also does not have soul-bound items. 99% of monster drops can be sold in the Grand Exchange, basically the auction house. Once you drop off of Tutorial Island and into Lumbridge, you'll find 0 map markers, 0 waypoints, and no real direction. This is because, again, the world is open to whatever you want to do. You're given starter items to just give you a bit of a head start. Most people travel across the bridge outside of Lumbridge Castle to the east and kill the goblins to start leveling their combat skills. Your combat skills are as follows: attack, strength, defense, ranged, and magic. You could consider HP and prayer a part of these combat stats, but more on all that later. If the goblins are daunting, then you can go a bit more north. We'll find the cow field to the right, and a tad bit more north, on the left we'll find the chickens. When playing a new account, I've personally always killed chickens, then moved on to the cows. When killing the chickens, you can pick up their raw chicken and cook them into the fireplace within the farmer's house. You can also pick up the bones and bury them for prayer experience, but more on prayer later. The rest of this guide assumes that you will be playing as a main account, aka an account that levels all skills to 99. The game is also based on a tick system. The game tick is the server cycle. Every 0.6 seconds, the game will do its server cycle. But from here on out, I will simply call it the tick or game tick. Weapons in OSRS can be fast or slow. This is their attack speed, and we base that attack speed on ticks. If the weapon is a fast weapon, typically it has a 1 to 2 tick speed. If it's a very slow weapon, then it's a 6 to 7 tick speed. Ticks can be manipulated, but that won't be covered in this guide. Let's check out the minimap options. It's a little daunting, but the minimap provides a ton of useful information. At first glance, we can see white dots with slight shadows underneath them. These are other players. If you look closely, you can see a white square with no shadow. This is you. Red dots are ground objects, aka objects that either spawn in the world or are dropped by other players or monsters. Yellow dots are NPCs that you can interact with. Red lines on buildings are entrances or exits to buildings. By clicking the world map next to the minimap, you can open up a large map. Hovering your mouse over an icon will tell you exactly what that icon does. If you find an icon with a red exclamation point and a blue arrow pointing down, that's a dungeon. You can actually click this icon on the map and it'll show you where you'll go if you enter that dungeon. RuneScape does not have dungeons like typical MMOs. You can't queue up for a 5-man and fight trash mobs to get to a boss. OSRS does not have that. The dungeon is quite literally just a dungeon. It's an underground area. With the minimap out of the way, let's move on to skills. As of this video, OSRS only has 23 skills with sailing on the horizon. This section may be a long-winded one as I'm going to try to be the most helpful, but if you want the best XP per hour, there are guides on YouTube that will help. For example, if you want to get 99 fishing the fastest, just go to YouTube and type in 1 to 99 fishing guide OSRS and you're good. At face value, skills seem pretty straightforward to level up. Unlike your typical MMO where you just kill things to level your character as a whole, there are certain monsters or training spots or training resources that will give you better XP per hour. XP per hour is the OSRS player metric to find out what will more quickly level them up in a certain skill. For example, let's say I'm 70 cooking and I'm looking to go for 99. Would it be wise for me to cook pike that only gains me 20,000 XP per hour? Not a real number, just using this for this example. Or should I cook bass that gives me 40,000 XP per hour? Double the XP an hour. Again, this is not the real number, just using this for an example. You can simply find out how much XP different foods can give you by simply looking them up on the wiki. Or just Google uncooked pike OSRS and click the wiki link. All skills max out at 99, but the XP goes up to 200 million. There are different reasons to go for 99 skills. Some want to max all 99s and get the max cape. Others want to be able to just do everything within that skill. Some just want that one skill's skill cape. Now, with that out of the way, the individual skills. Attack. Attack allows you to hit more accurately. The higher your attack, then the more accurate your melee hits will be. This also allows you to wield different weapons. Strength. The harder you will hit with melee. The higher your strength, the bigger the red hit splat number on your opponent, aka max hit. Defense. The mitigation you have against opposing hits. The higher your defense, the better you can withstand in the fight. This also allows you to wear different armors. Ranged. The harder you hit with bows, crossbows, ballistas, blowpipes, etc. The higher your range, the better weapons and armors you can use as well. Prayer. Your buffs, so to speak. The higher your prayer, the better the buffs you can use. You level prayer by burying bones. The better the bone, the better XP, in most cases. Prayer is best trained by using bones on a gilded altar in a player-owned home. If your prayer points run out, look for an altar around RuneScape. Pray at the altar and you recharge your prayer points. My prayer book looks a little different due to a RuneLite plugin that allows me to change around my prayer book. Magic. The better spells you can cast as well as the better armor you can use. Magic is an essential skill as it allows you to teleport all around RuneScape, amongst other spells. Hit points. The amount of damage you can take in combat. This is like any other video game. It's your health, your HP. Once it hits 0, you're dead. You respawn in Death's office and have a certain amount of time to run back to your grave marker to get your items back, or just talk to Death to reclaim them for a fee. There was once a time where when you died, your items actually appeared immediately for anyone to take. When you perish, you keep your 3 highest valued items, unless you have Protect item on in the prayer book. Then you get to keep 4. Unlike most MMOs, RuneScape allows you to eat food during combat to stay alive. Higher tiered food allows you to recover more HP. For example, shrimp heal for 3 HP, while shark heal for 20 HP. Runecraft. The ability to craft different runes for magic. You can buy runes from shops, the Grand Exchange, or get them from monster drops. To runecraft, you must have the corresponding talisman of the rune you wish to craft as well as rune essence. Members use pure essence. Then travel to the altar, use the talisman on the altar, then run up to the secondary altar and click on it. Once you do, the rune essence in your inventory will turn into the runes you crafted. For example, I want to craft earth runes. I have the earth talisman in my inventory and the rest is rune essence. I run to the altar, use the talisman on the altar, run up to the secondary altar, and voila! Here are my earth runes. If you want to find an altar for another rune, simply open up your runecraft guide. Locate the rune you wish to craft, open up the wiki, and type in the altar you wish to runecraft at. Also, you need to complete rune mysteries to unlock this skill. Construction. The ability to enhance your player-owned house. In most players' opinions, an essential skill. Construction is only used in your POH, player-owned house. Besides some quests and mahogany homes, you can build your home to have portals, lecterns, altars, rejuvenation pools, boxing rings, dungeons with monsters, decorations, and so much more. Mahogany Homes is a minigame way of leveling construction where you help NPCs fix broken items in their homes. The purple portals you find in Remington, Taverley, Gielinor, Brimhaven, Relica, and more are the portals to your home or your friend's home. World 330 is the official POH world where people host parties or just train and use teleports. Agility. How long you can run. It gives faster run energy restoration, slower run energy dissipation while running, allows the use of some weapons and armor, but more importantly, allows the use of shortcuts found around Gielinor. You can train agility by going to the agility courses found around Gielinor. Need to know where a certain agility course is? Wikipedia, baby. Herbalord. a skill that is locked behind a quest in Taverley and only accessible once completed. Druidic Ritual must be completed, then you can grab your Pestle and Mortar. Herblore allows you to create potions of all kinds, although not necessary as you can buy all your potions or get them as monster drops. Thieving. Basically, just kind of pickpocketing. Sure, there are chests that can be looted, but you're essentially pickpocketing anyone you can. The skill is used for quests, however. Crafting. Essentially, it's in the name. You can craft different glass items, staves, ranged armors, amethyst items, birdhouses, pouches, and more. Fletching. Fletching is the act of turning wood into, well, smaller wood. This is the skill of making bows, arrows, darts, javelins, and more for the ranged skill. Slayer. Traveling around Gielinor to defeat hordes of monsters, you request a Slayer task from a Slayer Master. They will give you a monster in a certain amount that you need to kill. Some monsters will not appear on the Slayer guide, such as Hellhounds. Lost on where to find a Slayer monster? Do I have a one-stop shop for you? The OSRS Wiki. Turiel is found in Berthorpe, Crystalia is found in Edgeville, but she will only provide monsters in the wilderness, more on this later. Mazkana can be found in Canifis, Vanica under Edgeville in the dungeon, Chelder on Xanaris, Gielinor's moon, and so on. Some Slayer Masters will be different for those who have completed different lore quests. Hunter. It sounds close to Slayer, but it is different. This skill is used to catch butterflies, rabbits, salamanders, chinchompas, birds, coyotes, antelope, and more. You do not face these in combat, you simply lay traps to catch them. Mining. Exactly what it is. Mining. You mine ore to later be smelt and smithed. Nothing crazy. You can mine minerals such as coal, mithril, adamant, rune, fallen stars, and more. The higher tiered minerals, the smaller in abundance they are in a consolidated area. The higher tiered minerals also have longer respawn times, making them more tedious to mine. Smithing. The act of making metal armor and weapons. Very straightforward. You can also create darts, but you must complete the Tourist Trap quest in order to do so. You can also smith throwing knives. Cooking. Anywhere from cooking raw meat to baking pies and even brewing beers. Also, it's almost always everyone's first 99 in the game due to how fast it is. You can cook on ranges and even fires from burning logs on the ground. Some fires never burn out, such as the one in the Rogue's Den. And some ranges even give an invisible bonus such as the Hosidius range or Lumbridge Cook's range. Firemaking, the most useless skill in the game. You just burn logs. Get a tinderbox, look at the guide to which log you can light and have at it. If you remember, once you hit level 50 firemake, you can access Wintertot, an extremely fast way of leveling firemaking while also getting supplies for other skills, or simply selling the supplies. You must have warm equipment worn or else you'll take a lot of damage from the Winter Toad. You can wiki more information on warm clothing. Woodcutting, chopping down the different trees found around Gielinor. That's really it. Just like fishing, woodcutting has trees that are only designated to certain areas. Redwoods are found at the Woodcutting Guild unless you plant one with farming, and magic trees can be found uncommonly around Gielinor. Farming. Last but not least. Farming is a skill where, although you level up extremely quickly, you probably don't always want to go with the next tree, herb, allotment, as it can be very costly. Farming is where you travel throughout Gielinor, planting seeds, trees, and more, and check back up on them later. Farming takes IRL time to complete the cycle of growing. For example, you hit level 60 farming and want to plant a yew tree. It takes IRL time 6.67 hours for the yew tree to grow. However, the upside to this is that when you take advantage of all the patches to plant yew trees, in 6.67 hours, you'll hit huge experience by checking on them. Farmers nearby farming patches will also look after your crops from disease, so check your farming guide to see what it takes to protect your tree. Doing Fairy Tale Part 1 Growing Pains also unlocks magic secateurs, which also allows you to get more crops from farming. Check out farming runs on YouTube to find out how to maximize your progress in the skill. Now that skills are done, I would like to say this. If you have any questions on skills or want to know more of the ins and outs, please look up 1 to 99 videos on YouTube. There is a huge catalog spanning the life of RuneScape on how to effectively level these skills. It is also time consuming. Some skills are extremely fast to level up, others like agility and runecraft are extremely slow. There have also been minigames that Jagex has released to try to help a bit in these skills. For example, Fishing has Temperos, Firemaking has Wintertoad, Herblore has Mastering Mixology, Hunter has Hunter Rumors, Runecraft has Guardians of the Rift, Smithing has Giant's Foundry, Mining has Volcano and Motherlode Mine, Construction has Mahogany Homes, Fletching has something new in the new Valamore update, Thieving has Pyramid Plunder, Agility has the Hollowed Sepulcher, Farming has the Tithe Farm, and Woodcutting has Forestry. Quests are essential to the game of RuneScape. Some can be boring, some can be tedious, some are hilarious, and some are hard. They're not your typical fetch quests though. They are full of stories on certain situations happening around Gielinor. Wondering about that weird dolmen before walking into Varrock? Do Demon Slayer and find out. What's with the secret doorway in the smithing area of Sears? Find out in Elemental Workshop. Want to experience a storybook tale from your childhood? Head out to Taverley and see what's with Silas and his beans in Grim Tales. Not only do some of these quests give you insight to the world of Gielinor, but they also give you huge chunks of experience or unlock big upgrades for your account. Recipe for Disaster unlocks some of the best gloves you'll ever have. Desert Treasure unlocks a whole new magic book full of spells that you can't find anywhere else. Same with Lunar Diplomacy. Song of the Elves unlocks an entire hidden society locked away for centuries, and actually decades in real life, as Prifindis was never a real place us players could go and visit until this quest was actually released. Want to do RuneScape's version of a raid? Unlock it with a night at the theater. There are 170 quests. They're not all necessary. However, if you want free experience, then I definitely recommend doing them. Minigames are a bit different. They're essentially gatherings for players to do things together safely. A lot of minigames are dead though. The lobbies are used more than the minigame itself. Honestly, any minigame that doesn't have something to do with XP or an unlock is pretty dead. Some minigames will unlock upgrades for your account, such as Barbarian Outpost, which unlocks the Fighter Torso, and Pest Control, which unlocks Void Equipment. That's really it on quests and minigames, so we're moving on. Cities in Gielinor have their niches. Lumbridge is home. Unless you complete quests that change where you go when you die, you will end up in Lumbridge. Hence the term, see ya in Lumbridge. Draenor Village is more so a small quest hub. You do a few quests here and you'll find the wise old man here who may or may not have robbed the bank. You can find the Master Farmer here for your farming cape, and Diango will sell toys and holiday items to you. Falador is existing. You come here to fight the giant mole under the park as well as to get to a farming patch. Hit up the party room, or head to the Motherlode Mine to train mining. You can also get your hair cut here too. Varrock itself is dead, but you can change your default clothes with the Thalia and work on smithing at the anvils, but mostly players stay at the Grand Exchange, situated northwest of the city. This is essentially an auction house where you can buy anything and almost everything. Karamja and Brimhaven are mostly quest areas, but you can train fishing at the dock with lobsters or catch Karambwam. You can also go underneath the volcano into the city of Tazar. Here you can fight 63 waves in the Fight Caves, beating Jad and taking home your Fire Cape. In southern Karamja, we can also find Shiloh Village. If we go upstairs in a hut, we can find the Slayer Master who can assign you tasks. No spoilers, but some folks will have Duradil and some others will have Curadil. You can also find a dungeon access to the west of Brimhaven that goes into the Brimhaven dungeons. You can find all sorts of monsters for Slayer here, but deeper into the dungeon you can find red dragons, black demons, iron and steel dragons. Rimington has a POH portal, and Port Sam is just a dock to get to other places. Alcarid has access to the Mage Training Arena, Giant's Foundry, and a boat to take you to the Temperos staging area. It also gives you access to the larger desert, which houses Polnivnich, Narda, the Calphite Lair, Sophonim, and Menaphos. Polnivnich has a rooftop agility course and nothing else after that. Narda has nothing. Sophonim has Pyramid Plunder for thieving and a Menaphos, just like Prifdinus, which has been locked away since the beginning of RuneScape. Of course, in RuneScape 3, Menaphos was released, but for OSRS, we have yet to get a glimpse as to what Menaphos really is. The Calphite Lair houses a bug species known as Calphite, but upon further adventuring, you will find the formidable Calphite Queen, who uses 2 phases. See YouTube videos for more info on her. Below Sophonim, we do have Tombs of Amasket, one of 3 raids in Gielinor. We also have the ruins of Ulik on the east coast, but that's just for a quest. On the west coast is the ruins of Unka, and this, again, is just the Temperos staging area. After completing Priest in Peril, you can access Mauritania, the land of the swamp. The hub area of these lands is Canifis, which you will find a rooftop agility course and a bank. Port Phasmatis is on the northeast coast, literally a ghost town, and can be unlocked once completing Ghost Ahoy quest. There's not much here, however, you can train prayer at the Ectofunctus if you wish. Through the swamp, you will find Morton, a city of sickly folk and shades that roam around. Here you can find the minigame Shades of Morton. Just to the east of Morton, you will find the Barrows Brothers Crypts. To the south of Morton is Berg de Rot. This place was a little bit more popular back in the day due to the access to a bank for the Barrows brothers. However, these days it's pretty desolate. Now you have Meyerditch, a maze of a city that is only used for some quests. You do have Ver Sinhaza to the east, which houses the Theater of Bloodraid, and to the north is Darkmire. This entire area is filled with high-level vampires that will attack you if you don't wear the proper clothing. Darkmire is somewhat popular with players that either thieve or kill vampires for an item worth millions of gold. To the east of Darkmire is Sleep, a location used for a quest. Scooting over to Edgeville, this is essentially a bank instead of a city. This is the bank used mostly by PKers, aka player killers. Just north is the Wilderness Ditch. Crossing this, you have 2 tiles until the Wilderness. More on the Wilderness later. You can also access the Edgeville dungeon by a dungeon entrance just south of the bank. Here, you can traverse through the dungeons and find another gate that allows access to the Wilderness or continue on to find the Slayer Master named Vanica. Yes, the same master you saw on Tutorial Island as the combat tutor. Taverley is a peaceful town headed by druids. You can find a few quests here. To the north is Berthorpe. This is where you find your first Slayer Master, Turiel. You will find the games room, which is completely dead content. The Warriors Guild is located to the west and requires your strength and attack level to equal out to 130 or 99 in either skill. In here, you can go for your defenders and claim the attacker strength capes. Underneath the bar, you can find the Rogue's Den. On the island south of Taverley is Entrana, a town where you cannot bring weapons or armor. A few quests require Entrana, and the Law Rune Altar also resides here. Other than that, nothing else to note. North of Entrana is Catherby, a fishing town with a few farming patches here. It has a port to sail to different locations, and a few quests take place around here. You can also claim your 99 Fletching Cape here. Heading west, we find Sears Village. It used to be a big trade hub back in 2006, but it's quiet now. It has a rooftop agility course and has a courtroom, which used to be the party room, but really does nothing. You can also do a few quests around here. To the north, we find Relica in the Fremenic province. Think of this area as your Nords. It has a rooftop agility course and a few quests that are important for helmet upgrades. You can also take ships from Relica to Waterbirth Island, which houses the Dagonoth King bosses, Lunar Isle, Nataznot and Yatizo, and the Kingdom of Miscellanea. The east is Trollheim. This is all troll land, and this is a city you do not normally come to. The trolls are aggressive and high-leveled and will try to kill you. You come here for a few quests and a quick way to get into the God Wars dungeon, the bossing area. From Sears, we head south to Ardone. There is a west and east Ardone. West Ardone is full of sick NPCs, and you will only come here for quests. East Ardone is fine and even holds a zoo. You come here for thieving, quests, and the butlers that help in the construction skill that resides northeast of the market. Northwest of Ardone is the Tree Gnome Stronghold. This city is populated by gnomes, and most things are found in the trees, like the banks, food and robe vendors, etc. You can find a Gnome Ball minigame course on the northwest side, a few quests to do, an agility course on the southeast side, a Slayer Master to get Slayer tasks from, as well as a Slayer Cave, and a farming patch for trees. Even more northwest of the Tree Gnome Stronghold is Piscatoris, a hunting land. But north of the hunting land is the super small colony Piscatoris Fishing Colony. Here you can catch monkfish, the only place to find them in-game. This place can only be accessed after completing the Swan Song quest. South of Ardone, we find the Tree Gnome Village, which is only used for a few quests. On the east coast, we also have Port Khazard. This is only used for the fishing trawler minigame. South of the Tree Gnome Village, we find the tucked away city of Yano. Personally, one of my favorite cities. Yano holds the Mages Guild. It has a POH portal and a hunter supplies shop. You can come here for a few quests as well. South of Yano is Gutanoth, but like Troll Country, you do not come here unless it's for a quest. Not a city, but that big divided castle thing to the west of Yano is one of the best minigames OSRS has to offer, Castle Wars. Too bad it's dead. Crossing the mountain range to the west of Yano in Castle Wars is the elven land of Tirnwyn. Isfadar is the absolute maze of a forest. Letya is hidden along the eastern mountain range and has a farming patch. You can come here for a few elven quests. To the north, you'll find Prifddinas. This was a hidden elven city that even us OSRS players had zero access to since the inception of the Elven Lands until the release of the quest Song of the Elves, aside from RS3 unlocking it, of course. Prifddinas holds quite a few things such as the Zolcano, the Gauntlet, crystal equipment, anvil for smithing, a rooftop agility course, a Slayer dungeon, a POH access portal, yew trees, magic trees, teak and mahogany trees, and a little bit more. That covers the mainland stuff. You do have your islands like Yatazo and Nature's Knot, Lunar Isle, Mostly Harmless, Miscellanea, Fossil Island, and Ape Atoll, but these are niche islands you will go to during questing, and I don't want to spoil anything on that front. Now for the Kingdom of Great Korend. No one really uses this as a hub city, but Kingstown is the main teleport. Inspecting the statue in the middle of the city will put you into the Catacombs of Korend, a Slayer dungeon. I can't speak much on Korend because I do not like this area and spend as little time here as possible. Port Piscarilius is a fishing town, Hosidius is a farming town, Lovacane is a mining and smithing town, Arceus is a magical town, and Shazian is a warrior town. To the west, you will find Mount Quata Mortem, which is RuneScape's first raid, aka Chambers of Xeric, or COX for short. North of Mount Quata Mortem is the Farming Guild. North of the Farming Guild is Mount Karul, and this is home to a Slayer Master in a Slayer dungeon. To the north of Arceus is Wintertoad, and northeast of Arceus is a location to train prayer and runecraft blood and soul runes. South of Shazian is the Woodcutting Guild. To the south of Great Korend, we have the Kingdom of Varlamore, a new area just recently released and is about to be added onto. We have quests galore here to teach you about the lore and the Colosseum, which is very hard, but if you win, you get the best in-slot ranged item for your cape slot. You have thieving you can train here, as well as a world boss to the north on the Dark Frost. You can train agility on the southern coast at the Colossal Worm Course. To the southwest of Civitas Illa Fortis, the main hub city, is the Hunters Guild. Here you can obtain Hunter Rumors to train the Hunter skill. Alderin is a small island to the southwest of Varlamore, and as far as I've explored, it's a quest area. Let's move on to the mechanics, verbiage, and the wilderness. Starting off with mechanics. We went over the tick system already, so we'll skip that. RuneScape does have something called multi-combat. This is depicted by cross swords on your UI. If you appear to have cross swords on your UI, you have entered a multi-combat area. This means more than one opponent can attack you. Speaking of attacking, RuneScape has something we call the combat triangle. The three forms of combat: melee, ranged, and magic. Melee beats range beats magic, and magic beats melee. The colors that depict these combat styles are typically magic is blue, range is green, melee is red. So if you're fighting a boss and he turns from green to red, that means he swapped from ranged to melee. That means you protect from melee and attack with magic, as magic beats melee in the combat triangle. RuneScape is made up of tiles. You can see them very easily separated on the floor. Most things stay on one tile. The player character cannot stand in between two tiles, they always land on one tile. Larger monsters take up more than one tile. Monsters will attack your player if you are not 2 times the monster's combat level. So for example, a highwayman level 5 is roaming around. You are level 7. If you are to run past the highwayman, he will attack you. Now, that same highwayman continues roaming around, but you're level 10 now. He will no longer attack you. This stands true for almost all monsters. The exception is the monsters in the wilderness that will attack you regardless of your combat level. You can find your combat level in the crossword section of your inventory area. Let's touch on your combat level. You can mouse over your combat level to see what it will take to advance your combat level. This actually might just be a RuneLite function, but I can't remember if it's in the original client as well. You can also change your attack styles to level up your skills. It is not advised to level up using a shared XP style, as this is a very slow way to level up your combat skills. Hovering your mouse over a style will tell you what experience it will grant. Some weapons will allow you to gain XP in all of those different combat skills, and some weapons will only grant up to 2. The max combat level is 126. Your character is not tied to one singular world. You can access the worlds by going to your logout button in the bottom of your inventory and searching for different worlds to go to. This is good for finding a world you'd like to participate in for populated minigames, or finding a secluded world to do something like Slayer in case your location is very populated. Worlds also have better ping for wherever you are in the world. If you play West Coast US, you probably want a West Coast server. If you play EU, then you probably want to play on an EU server. If you're doing skilling, Slayer, or anything low effort, then don't worry about what server you're in, as ping won't be that big of a deal. OSRS has clans, the equivalency of guilds. You can create or join a clan. Personally, I can't comment on this as I haven't been in a clan since clan chat was first introduced way back in 2007. There are all sorts of clans, from max clans, PvP clans, skilling clans, and straight up PVM clans. I'm sure there's RP clans out there too. Bossing is just a simple term to say someone is going to kill boss-leveled monsters around Gielinor. RuneScape has shortened verbiage for a lot of things around Gielinor. We've touched on Cox, Chambers of Xeric, as well as PKers, player killers, which is the equivalent of PvPers. We also use the term PVM, which is player versus monster instead of PvE. Main means an account that does everything in RuneScape, the main account a player plays on. A skiller is typically an account that is level 3 that has all non-combat skills 99. A pure is an account used for PKing that has 1 defense. A Zerker or Berserker is an account with 45 defense and is used for PKing. A Voider is an account that has just enough stats to wear Void equipment for PK. Alt accounts are used to typically AFK certain things around Gielinor to funnel money for the main account. There's a host of words that are shortened, but these will be learned as you play the game. The Wilderness, once a bustling place for players to kill one another, is now almost empty. It's the hub of PvP. The first 2 tiles past the Wilderness ditch is safe. The deeper the Wilderness you go, the higher level other players can attack you and kill you. The deepest level of Wilderness is level 56 Wilderness. If you're level 10 and you're in level 30 Wilderness, you can be attacked by level 40s, but you can also attack level 3s. There are multi-areas where multiple players or clans will attack you. Enchanted Dragonstone equipment, such as the Combat Bracelet and Amulet of Glory, will teleport you out of 30 Wilderness and below. However, normal teleports will only teleport you at or below level 20 Wilderness. The Wilderness does have bosses within it though. My favorite is the Chaos Elemental. You can also take on the Mage Arena to get your God Cape for a bonus in magic stats. The only safe places are the Pharaoh Enclave, inside the Mage Arena with the Bank, the Corporeal Beast Lair, and the King Black Dragon Lair. Everywhere else is PvP no matter what. If you attack another player unprovoked, you will become Skulled, depicted by the skull and crossbones above your head. This means all of your items are lost upon death unless you turn on Protect Item Prayer, which allows you to keep 1 item, aka your most valued item. If you are attacked and you attack back, you will keep 3 items as normal, unless you turn on Protect Item, which keeps 4. You lose your skull upon death or by waiting 30 minutes, or by other means. There are obelisks placed throughout the Wilderness that can teleport you to other obelisks at random. So you can find yourself in 44 Wilderness and use the obelisk but be teleported deeper to level 54 Wilderness, or vice versa, teleport to level 13 Wilderness. If you do the Wilderness Diaries, you can choose what level of Wilderness you can go to. There is lore behind the Wilderness. It was actually an area named Forinthry. Zeros, a god, had conquered Forinthry and it became an empire for Zeros. Zamorak, Zeros' general, wanted to overthrow Zeros. Zamorak attacked Zeros with the Staff of Armadil, stabbing Zeros in the back and thus transferring a large portion of Zeros' power to Zamorak. Zamorak then disappeared. When he returned, he had an army with him, so large that he was set to conquer Gielinor and declared war against all the other gods, starting the God Wars. Forinthry was then under constant attack and many of Zeros' followers sided with Zamorak so they wouldn't fall victim. Soon after, most of the settlements were then destroyed. This wasteland is now called the Wilderness. How can you tell a neutral enemy from a hostile enemy? Well, does it look evil? Are you outside of a city or settlement? Would it be considered evil in nature like a ghost, a zombie, skeleton, dragon, etc.? Then it's probably gonna attack you. This isn't always the case, but I would recommend getting to combat level 20 before really setting out to find out what's in Taverley's dungeon or Varrock's sewers, because you will be attacked by the most random things. That Highwayman example that I gave earlier, yeah, that's actually a real thing. What to do in RuneScape? A lot of players love the dopamine hit of getting higher stats, so a lot of players look to max their account. A lot of players say screw that and like to PvP and get the bare minimum stats and items from quests to start PvPing. Shoot, even making content like RSMVs have been around since 2006, and a lot of players just like to stick to content creation. Hey, no, this is my video. Get out of here. Literally, Gielinor is open to interpretation. How do you want to play? Yes, it is very overwhelming at first. You have 23 skills and an entire world to get started on with billions of things to see. If you really can't get an idea, look up PKing videos. See if PKing is something you'd like. If you watch skill specs, you'll see nothing but PK deaths, so switch to someone like Weston. This is a joke. I love skill specs so much. Want to watch PVM? No Monkey is a solid watch. He's one of the best, and you can get an idea of PVMing at a high level from him. Want to watch pure content creation? Jimmy, 9rain, and Settled? No ifs, ands, or buts. For an added bonus, watch all 4 seasons of the Gielinor games. Want to see what you'll get from a monster if you camped it for 70 hours non-stop? Mr. No Sleep is your man. There are efficiency guides out there that will give you a laundry list of things to do when you first start RuneScape. A lot of them are the same thing, with starting the same series of quests to get your combat skills up fast. I do agree this is good. However, I'd worry most about transportation and getting around Gielinor quickly. Level your magic up for teleports. Do Fairy Tale Part 1, then start Fairy Tale Part 2 to unlock fairy rings. This is a fast, free way to get around Gielinor. Teleport tablets allow you to teleport without needing the magic level to do so. However, this can become very expensive if you don't have a large cash stack. Jewelry also allows teleportation as well, but they also need to be recharged, or if some enchanted jewelry runs out, it'll simply vanish. This is the starter guide of RuneScape, like a guideline of sorts. It's crazy to tell someone to look things up in the wiki, but that's literally how it is unless you want to go in completely blind and be overloaded by all the information given to you. When I first started RuneScape, I walked to the goblins next to Lumbridge and didn't know what to do. I followed someone to Varrock asking for their water staff because it looked cool, until someone finally gave me one and then had no idea what to do next, so I logged out. Now that there's a wiki, it's extremely informative on everything in Gielinor. If you need to find something out, then just look the item up, or whatever you need to look up. For example, if you want to find out how to get a Dragon Full Helm, just type in Google Dragon Full Helm OSRS, and the first link that pops up for the wiki. Scroll down a little and you'll find out where to get it, or just go to the wiki and type it in the search bar. Anyways, I hope this basic guideline can help anyone. It's not in-depth, and I do not foresee myself making an in-depth guide. There are others that have been doing that and been doing it for such a long time, so go check them out. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll catch you later.